You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drakewing Gaming. Just sitting down on Twitter, the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you, another Let's Play episode of Sylving. So let's go ahead and jump into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alrighty. Don't tell him I said this, but they're the only good thing he makes. Have you eaten pretzels before, Lord Aron Sandre? Of course I've had pretzels before, but I don't know if I should be surprised or not to find them in this world. Judging by the question, I guess they're not that common here yet. I have, but I'm looking forward to how they taste here. I suggest you try it with a tankard of beer and sausage. They go great together. Actually, it sounds really good. Ugh, beer? Why that of all things? It tastes awful. Well, you can never go wrong with a good beer. Good. While they're busy chatting, I invite myself to roam the rabbit's selection. This is probably the bakery where I've gotten all the bread from. Oh, but you must be here to shop. What would you like to buy? I'll just browse a little first. Give me a minute. There's not much left, I'm afraid. The next batch won't be ready until tomorrow morning. Still, I hope you like what's left on the shelves. I look around, appraising the offerings with temptation to taste them all, until my eyes land on a peculiar batch on the far right. The rabbit follows my gaze and flinches when he sees where it lies. No, not those ones. They're not for sale. Huh? Why not? Oh, come on, Jacob. They're not that bad. Not that bad? He hops back over the counter with startling dexterity before pulling a familiar-looking brick from the baskets. Need I remind you... He knocks the wannabe bread on the counter. It makes a sharp knocking sound, and I get the horrid feeling that I might have consumed literal rocks the other day. The brick is stagnant. It doesn't even flake or crumble from his harsh treatment. Pa hasn't changed this recipe once since taking over this bakery. I'm not selling one of his bludgeons to a noble. Isn't that the same one you gave me the day we met? Agnar, please tell me you didn't give him one. Two, actually. Jacob looks absolutely horrified, abject terror draining all color from his face. Looks like the world is ending before his eyes. Well, you weren't here at the time, and all your stock was sold out. Of all the days to take time off work! He's not even trying to hide his frustration. He's digging his fingers into his scalp, scratching as if descending into madness. But he recovers quickly, taking a deep breath and collecting himself. No, it's fine. If his bread was the only one available when you came in, then I can only blame myself. It's just, I take this very seriously, and with most nobles, you only get one chance to make an impression. No offense, my lord. It's all right, none taken. Yeah, I know. That's exactly why I brought him that pie, so he could get a taste of your best. At last, a light. A ray of hope breaks through the dark and stormy night. Ooh, that's why. I was confused. You always said you didn't care much for my apple pie, being too sweet and all. Wait, you made that pie? I did. It was my own recipe, made with my own two paws. Did you like it? I loved it. It was so sweet and cinnamony. It brought back good memories. The rabbit's chest swells with pride. You really think I wouldn't be looking out for you? I think you owe me an apology. Oh, you gave a noble stale bread. At best, this puts you back to even. I'm sorry, Agnar. It's not your fault. I overreacted. I'm just on edge because of everything going on. So many are coming this year, and a noble might finally take notice of my baking. It's gonna be nuts for the whole week, and I really think this could be my big chance to really impress someone and become their personal baker. I'm just so afraid of screwing this up. Jacob, you're the go-to baker in Dulcet. You're bound to get noticed eventually. I said it 100 times. You'll get your chance. They must be blind if they can't see the amazing work you do. I know you're right. It's just been a bit rough lately. I don't have the time or the coin to make any new desserts to really impress people, and most of what we earn is spent on the same old ingredients. But I'll manage. I could try workshopping one of my old recipes and see if I can't improve it. He takes a big breath and the smile comes back to his face. Then he seems to remember that this isn't purely a social visit. Oh, right. Sorry, forgive my ramblings. You're a customer. Did you decide on what you wanted, my lord? Ugh, I hate this. Being called a lord is too weird for me. But I grin and bear it and keep up the act. Not yet, but it won't take much longer. I didn't really think much about what I wanted before coming, and after the heavy brunch we had, I'm kind of full up on food for now. But I don't want to leave without buying anything. I don't want to come off as rude. Maybe I'll just get something for later. It'll be nice to have bread in the house just in case. I look over the shelves one last time and decide on 3 big fluffy beige pieces of bread. I assume they're an edible version of the loaf brick, and there's some with seeds that look interesting to try. Then I'll take those in the corner, and the 2 of the darker ones on the shelf above it. Great choices. They're my latest creations. I gave them just a hint of rotor spice and grinded some seeds to give them a subtle kick. Not many have taken interest in them yet, but I know they'll become more popular as time goes on. I just know it. With a smile, Jacob collects them from their baskets and places them on a spare linen on the counter. He wraps them in a quaint little bundle with a length of twine to hold it in place. That'll be 6 kroner. Agnar retrieves the rabbit's pay from his pouch and exchanges it for the parcel. 6 shiny silver coins put in the rabbit's hand. I hear the door open behind me, and a slender squirrel makes their way into the now somewhat cramped store. Well, back to work. Can't hold up the customers. It was wonderful meeting you, Lord Aron. I'd love to talk more some other time. With the linen of bread in Agnar's hand, we make our way out back onto the street. Jacob seems like a nice guy. I can't say I've met someone who loves baking quite as much as him. He really does love his trade, puts his pride in what he bakes, and always tries new combinations. Jacob's a big dreamer, always hard at work. He told me many times he'll move out of the village onto bigger and grander things someday. Alright, y'all. Coffee is done. That must be a big step to take. He does seem like the kind of guy who always gives his all. It's one of the traits I've always admired in him. I hope his dreams come true. Someone working so hard deserves it. Heh, yeah, he does. Agnar smiles, but it's a weak one. There's an undeniable hint of sadness underneath. You did great today, Aron. For your first true day here, I don't believe it could have gone any better. Even when I was away with Ol, you managed on your own just fine, and even managed to impress Brum. Is he hard to impress? Well, no. It was how you talked to him without trouble. You did great. Now that this step is over, it's high time we work on your coordination. I raise a brow. Thought I was walking well enough. I haven't had any trouble keeping my balance today. Is it really that bad? It's better than your first day, but still pretty awkward. It's obvious you have trouble looking natural on your feet. My confidence strains a little at hearing that, but being fully adapted here in one day would be pretty impossible. Or as Ol called me, a drunk. Ha! That too. But that'll have to wait for tomorrow. It's getting late. We'll go to the training grounds to see how to improve your posture. Training ground? I'm gonna get trained by a wolven warrior? That sounds cool as hell. I wonder what sort of training he'll put me through. Walking across logs suspended in water, or some sort of obstacle course I have to run through, like in the movies? Maybe that there's even secret techniques that can only be wielded by lions. The more I think about it, the more excited I get about this whole animal man life. Maybe I've even got superhuman strength due to my new primal body. Can't wait for tomorrow. By the time we're back to the house, the sun is setting, giving it an orange glow. Fewer people are walking through the streets, as most of them are probably on their way home. The kitchen is as we left it. Shutters closed, with Mikhail just dead at the table. I whisper to Agnar to avoid disturbing the sleeping fox. Should we wake him? He doubtlessly has official duties to attend to at home, so we better do it for his sake. The wolf walks behind the fox and gently massages his back. He coos in a soothing voice, trying to wake him gracefully. Lord Mikhail, you have to wake up now. It's late. Ah! Jesus. I'm up! I wasn't sleeping, He leans forward and rests his weight on the table, nearly fainting again. He stares blurry-eyed at Agnar and me. Oh, you've got your new clothes. How nice. Yeah, Agnar picked them out for me. I know you paid for them, so thank you. Agnar opens the shutters, letting the sunset light up the room. Second, y'all. Water time. Alright, guys and gals, and we are back. Let's jump back into it, shall we? Okay. With great effort, the fox pulls himself fully to his feet. He teeters over to the stove, still looking quite a lot like a zombie, and looks around in confusion. Tea, sweetener? No? You probably left the sweet leaves in your study again. I will get them for you. The fox grumbles, digging through various pockets until, with an aha, he withdraws a small key ring. He entrusts it to the wolf, who quickly bounds up the stairs. He grabs his glasses sitting on the table, taking his time to adjust them till they sit firmly on his long nose. I step up to the weary vulpine and lend a hand, but I halt when he pulls a number of odd trinkets from his bag and cupboards. There's a kettle and a stand for it, a small clay bowl with a hole in the side, and a metal baton with a wooden handle. Mikkel then, lethargically, goes through the motions of preparing a pot for tea, though without any water? I expect him to go to the stove, but instead he sets up shop on the table? How does Mikkel intend to make tea? And more importantly, how does he intend not to burn the house down? Should I intervene? It looks like he's liable to pass out mid-fire making, and that tablecloth looks like it'd go up like a matchbox. Then my eyes shimmer as he retrieves two glistening crystals from his satchel. The pair emit their own light, one red, the other blue. Their scintillating beauty absorbs all focus, as though the world has vanished. I watch as he casually holds the blue crystal above the open pot, tapping it with the metal wand. In a moment, the glow dims and water flows out the stone, as though it were squeezed from a sponge. It takes a second, but I finally realize what I'm seeing and have to rub my eyes for a double take. There's actually water flowing out of that crystal, and much more that could possibly hold even if it were made of pure ice. Now, transfixed for a new reason, I poke Mikkel in the arm, not taking my eyes off the crystal for a second. What is that? Water. Stores water. Tea. With the kettle filled, Mikkel pulls the baton away and the water flow ceases. What lingering moisture remains on the rock seeps back in like a sponge until it is bone dry. But it isn't porous? The blue crystal is dimmer now, still glowing, but its luster has diminished. He then lifts the kettle up and tosses the red stone to the clay pot. Afterwards, he seals it inside by setting the kettle back down like a lid. He inserts the rod into the keyhole and presumably makes contact with the crystal. Heat immediately begins radiating from the makeshift boiler, and I can even see flickers of firelight through the thin seams around the pot and the wand. Mikkel leans away from his setup, waiting impatiently for the pot to boil while I inspect it with great interest. So, the red one's fire? Yes. Fire. And this is normal? Tea. No, this tea is not common. We got this one imported. Not the tea, the crystals! Ah, the crystals. Yes, the crystals. Are they magic? Yes, crystals. Magical, yes. Stores elements inside them. And you're using them to make tea? Let's be honest, that definitely sounds like something a fox would do. He fetches a tin from his pack and scoops out with a silver teaspoon a few clumps of what appears and smells like black tea. I study the arrangement he's got going here. I can't believe it's real. Wouldn't it be easier to put the crystal directly in the water? Probably. But I'm trying a few different approaches. See if I get different results. I want a better understanding of how these crystals work. I just keep staring. In less than a minute, steam is erupting from the kettle's spout. Mikkel pulls the baton back out, just as the teapot's threatening to whistle. He sets the rod down before moving the kettle aside. I lean over to see the red stone inside the clay, having a dull red color and no heat emitting from it. It must have run out of battery, like the blue one did with the water. I thought you said you didn't have any other witch relics. What about these? What do you mean? The glowing rocks. Why can't we just open the gate with them? No, those aren't relics. They're elemental crystals, naturally occurring. While I try to wrap my mind around what I just heard, I watch as Mikkel pours himself a cup of tea, stirring to cool it. He's about to take a sip when his face sours, evidently remembering that it isn't sweetened yet. Our conversation is interrupted by the heavy footsteps of the wolf descending the stairs. He presents the fox with a glass jar, packed tight with whole leaves inside. Your study cannot remain as it is, Lord Mikkel. It's such a disorganized mess I could barely find the sweetener. Yeah. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank y'all for what I do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silver. Thank you going above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our two gold tier patrons, Zeke and Toby. Y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not safe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye!